speaking of Texas, you want to talk about Ted Cruz?
Absolutely.
So Ted Cruz, in the midst of all this wild weather shit, decided to take his family to Mexico, which is ironic because he's a huge proponent of blocking immigration. Right? So
yeah, I didn't know that. Well, it makes sense, but I didn't know that part.
That's interesting. But he caught a lot of heat this week because he took his family out to, what was it, Cabo or Mexico, somewhere in Mexico.
I think it was Cabo, yeah.
Out of Texas where all of this shit was going on. So keep in mind, Ted Cruz is a senator. So he's an elected official who decided to leave his people in a time of crisis to be somewhere a little bit more comfortable. Do you have any thoughts on this?
Yeah, I have a few.
I have a few too.
I personally, don't really see anything wrong with it. For one, if I, just as a normal human being, member of the government, if I could afford to take my family out of these conditions where there's no power, no running water, why the fuck wouldn't I? Mm-hmm. Two, what the fuck can I do? I am not a physical laborer. Like, what is a senator going to be able to do in order to fix this situation? Like, him as an individual, right? What is he going to be able to do? Like, he can zoom in on a congressional meeting or whatever the fuck. Like, I honestly don't know what he could do besides be there suffering and I guess showing support, but like, he still does have a family to take care of. And like, that's my number one priority, honestly, if I'm a father of a family, is to make sure my kids and wife are straight.
Yeah.
So that's how I feel. I can get why people are upset because they don't have that same luxury.
Right.
And they feel like he abandoned them, but I don't necessarily see it that way.
So I think Ted Cruz could have been our self-medicated PR client this week. But I think he's just literally suffering from an image problem. Because there's two things here that make what he did fucked up. Number one is that you got caught leaving. Why the fuck are you in a public
regular airport? Yeah, go from Texas to California. You probably could have got a smaller.
You could have gotten a PJ. You could have, a friend with a jet. You could have done that.
True.
That's number one. So it's that perception is a little bit bogus. Nobody had to know that you left, honestly. If you did it right in 2021, literally no one had to know that you left. You could have Skyped from somewhere with a background that looked like you were still in Texas.
Just do the white wall,
bro. You know what I'm saying? Like,
just the white wall at the hotel room.
No one had to know that you left. That's number one. Number two, I think with the problem that people have is when they see your face, it's some fuck shit. You're running. Like when people, but also like, this is the thing. Ted Cruz was elected. So like, people voted for him. So like, he is popular. People do fuck with him. So like, that, let's make that clear and make that distinction. But like, the people that fuck with you probably aren't gonna give a fuck that you left. Right? Yeah. The people that don't fuck with you, that's what they're gonna harp on. Right? Like, oh, we're going through this. You're our elected representative, and you not in here with the shit, in the shits with us.
Well, I guess he's not the governor or mayor. They expect him like to be.
You know what he is?
He's popular. Yeah,
popular. He's talked about. And the thing is too, the thing about Ted Cruz is this is Trump's boy.
That's more so probably what it is.
This is Trump's boy.
His associations.
So it just doesn't look good. Doesn't look good for Ted. I agree with you. Like, you know what I'm saying? If I had the means to take my family out of that situation, what I probably would have did was sent them away and stayed myself. Right, just to be like in some knee highs, wading through some water, make sure the camera saw me doing that type of
photo
shit.
Ops.
Yeah, like that. I would think that that's important to even make sure that happens and then leave.
Yeah.
or leave and don't let nobody know. You know what I'm saying? Like there's I don't know. There's a bunch of ways that he could have handled this differently, but in and of itself, him leaving, I don't think was the worst thing in the world. I think the optics surrounding it, the way that he handled it, the lies that he told after doing it, like all of that was some bullshit. But leaving in and of itself, I don't think was the worst thing ever.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with the point that you agree with me about.